On the planet Vitrum Cognita, understanding is a mineral resource. Beneath the surface, knowledge isn't learned through study, it is physically mined from the bedrock in the form of luminous crystalline matrices. This process begins in the luminous deep, a subterranean ocean of bioluminescent archaea. These organisms metabolize exotic minerals from the planet's iron core, secreting chemical cascades into the surrounding stone and imprinting patterns of meaning directly into the earth. These units of thought crystallize upward, forming the veins of knowing where civilizations are built. Now, the dome membrane siphoning cosmic radiation has reached a 31% flux, ionizing the archaea and forcing the luminous deep into metabolic hyperactivity. This spike approaches a 34% limit that the planet's history proves is catastrophic. 3 centuries ago, a localized surge of this magnitude erased 3 entire settlements on Calith. When the veins overload, they trigger a cascade, crystallization, an amnesia storm that floods human cognition with raw data until the mind simply wipes itself clean. Despite visible warning signs and historical precedent for civilizational erasure, the planetary government has gone silent. They suppress the radiation data and withhold the very knowledge needed to navigate the coming surge. The Luminant Consortium, a massive merchant republic of 7 house guilds, enforces this silence through its total monopoly on crystalline extraction and mapping. The consortium's Council of Radiance has officially classified the 31% spike as acceptable variance. Even as the veins of knowing pulse with dangerous intensity, the Council continues to enforce strict rationing, limiting the flow of understanding to the populace. This scarcity forces the population into desperate survival rituals. With written records confiscated and knowledge access restricted, elders perform luminant ceremonies, attempting to transfer their memories to the next generation via physical touch before the next amnesia storm can strip them away. The consortium's refusal to act contradicts every impulse of civilizational survival. Their commitment to maintaining high-grade scarcity during an existential crisis suggests that their primary objective lies somewhere outside the preservation of their citizens' minds. Control is maintained through the cartographer's oath. Only licensed guild mappers may chart the shifts in the veins of knowing, ensuring that any settlement built outside consortium-approved geography remains starved of the crystalline resource. The consortium has used this control as a weapon before. During an ice age 80 years ago, they claimed crystalline scarcity to justify withholding matrices from the continent of Thorsheim, resulting in mass starvation and memory loss while their own vaults remained full. This history of weaponized ignorance gave rise to the Fisher Collective. This underground rebellion operates by mapping unregistered veins and distributing crystalline knowledge to settlements beyond the consortium's reach. The collective believes that the current threat of an amnesia storm is an artifact of consortium taxation. They argue that if the knowledge commons are restored and the veins are allowed to flow naturally, the planetary system will return to equilibrium. However, the collective's efforts are accelerating the instability. Their unauthorized extractions are fragmenting the knowledge flow, triggering localized memory stutters, and pushing the planet towards civil war at the exact moment the radiation threshold is breached. This struggle for the surface supply reaches deep into the 7 abyssal fractures. These are continental rift zones where the veins of knowing plunge into the mantle, causing knowledge to accumulate and rot under the weight of the world. These fractures are guarded by the abyssal keepers. Having studied the corrupted knowledge within the sinks, the keepers have discovered the extent of the consortium's historical data manipulation, and they have lost all faith in the Merchant Republic's leadership. The keepers have now issued an ultimatum. If the consortium does not release the full archives regarding the 31% radiation spike, the keepers will unseal the fractures. They are prepared to flood the world with corrupted, toxic memory, rather than allow the consortium to maintain its monopoly in secret. The 3 factions are now locked in a circular deadlock. Their focus is entirely fixed on the distribution and purity of the knowledge supply, unaware that the very architecture of their world was never designed for their benefit. A wider view of the 8,000-kilometer dome reveals a secret the consortium has held for 2 centuries. The transparent membrane is not a shell built to protect Vitrum Cognita from the void. The dome is a harvesting apparatus. For millennia, cosmic forces above have been using microfissures in the membrane to siphon the planet's cognitive secretions upward, drawing the refined knowledge of the luminous deep into the space beyond. The consortium's rationing protocols facilitate this harvest. By restricting the flow of the veins on the ground, they maintain a stable, measured release of particles into the void above, ensuring a consistent yield for the entities siphoning the dome. This creates a narrow metabolic window. If the radiation drops, the veins calcify into inert stone and the harvest ends. If it exceeds 34%, the amnesia storm destroys the quality of the data. The consortium's task is to manage the population just enough to prevent a total system crash, while maximizing the output for the void. The tragedy of Vitrum Cognita is the scale of the misunderstanding. While the factions fight for the right to own their own minds, they remain unaware that their entire civilization exists solely to refine information for a harvest they will never see.